Hi guys, today I'm going to be answering some of your questions from the comments on the most searched airsoft questions video, and also some DMs I got on Instagram. Hope you guys enjoy. The first question is from Sam Davis. He wrote, "What do you recommend is the best airsoft brand?" I personally would highly recommend G&G, especially if you're a starter to airsoft or Tippmann. They both make very good rifles for beginners, and they're generally affordable and well-performing. Especially G&G, my first ever well-performing or high-end airsoft gun was the G&G Combat Machine, and it only cost me about $200. Not much at all, and it still performs great, still working to this day. So yeah, I would highly recommend G&G, especially for beginner guns, and honestly all different types of guns. So the next question is from Royalty Aurora, which before we get into the question, they actually asked me to give them a shout out on Instagram. So I said, all you have to do is ask a question, I'll give you a shout out. So here we are. They're actually a really cool channel. They were uploading airsoft content, it looks like, before the whole coronavirus thing hit. Now they're just uploading some Call of Duty gameplays. But they said that they really like airsoft, and I'm sure they'll be uploading some more airsoft content in the future. I would definitely recommend checking out their channel. They have some really cool videos. Now on to the actual question. Royalty Aurora writes, couple of questions. At what age do you recommend for new players to start? What do you think of dye masks? Are they a good mask for starters? And how long have you been playing? All right, let's get into the first question. What age do you think is best for people to start playing airsoft? I personally think 10 or 11, maybe even 12 is a good age. I think that's the age where you can, take a hit from an airsoft BB and not kind of, freak out, And you'd also have the maturity level to deal with an airsoft gun. Of course, I do still recommend an adult being present, like a father figure or something like that, to sort of make sure that they are making smart decisions, but I think that that's generally speaking a good age for beginners in airsoft, with supervision. Now, as for the second question regarding the dye masks, I kind of have a mixed opinion. Personally, I believe that as a beginner in airsoft, your first priority should be not a gun, but a very good face mask. This way you won't have fogging issues, and you'll be safe on the field. You also won't have to get a new one in the future from it breaking, and it'll just generally make playing the sport more comfortable. The only issue with the dye masks is they can be associated with Speedsoft. If you're not familiar with Speedsoft, it's a certain style of play like Milsim, and from what I've heard, I don't personally believe this, but the dye masks are associated with Speedsofters. Now, the reason this is an issue is because some fields banned Speedsofting in general, which I don't really think there's a definition for it, but I have heard of some fields banning the type of playstyle outright, and you can sometimes get in a little bit of trouble for simply wearing a dye mask. In my opinion, it's kind of ridiculous, but it still happens. So that is the only issue with the dye mask, is that it can sometimes be associated with Speedsoft. But besides that, I think it's a very good mask, and honestly a good mask for beginners. Alright, last question from Royalty Aurora. What age did you start playing airsoft? I'm not exactly sure. I know it's been pretty decent amount of years now. I'm definitely not a newer player, but I'm not sure about the exact amount. Next question is from Noah Aiello, and it is, how many people have you seen bleed in airsoft? Now this is actually kind of a joke, because also he asked me to give him a little bit of a mini shout out in this video, so Noah, this is your kind of shout out. Noah is my good friend that lives, well, in the same, town as me. We go to the same school, and I have taken him to airsoft on multiple occasions, and every single time he's gone, he has bled somehow. I don't know what it is, honestly, but every single time he goes, he has some sort of really bad welt or bloody spot. Honestly, I'm surprised he still goes with me, but, he does. Probably one of the worst ones was actually at my birthday party, where my mom accidentally shot him point blank in the finger. I'll put a picture of what that looked like about an hour afterward right here, whichever side works better. So yeah, he hasn't necessarily had the best experience airsofting, but he says it's still fun and he'll definitely do it again. So there's your little shout out, Noah, and for how many people have seen bleed in airsoft? Not many. If anything, you'll just get a welt. You don't normally bleed. Noah as the exception. Now, someone did ask me a question on Instagram, a DM, which I never actually asked them if I could say their name on Instagram, what their name is, so I'm just going to put it as anonymous. Actually has two questions. The first one was, which are better, steel core BBs or normal plastic BBs? So steel core BBs, which are plastic, they have a plastic shell but a steel core on the inside, are actually illegal at all fields. I'm fairly certain it's all fields. I know all of them around here, because they can seriously injure people. They're a lot heavier and they have a lot more stopping power, meaning that they can make you bleed or even penetrate your skin, which is not good. That's not what airsoft is about. and you should not use steel BBs as your field could potentially ban you or get you in trouble. So definitely stick with the plastic BBs unless you're doing target practice and you prefer the steel BBs, or steel core BBs, but don't shoot anyone with the steel core BBs. It could seriously injure them. The second question I got asked on Instagram from the same person was, what is your favorite rifle-pistol combo? Which personally, this isn't really a rifle, but it's the VSR-10 and the Tokyo Marui Mark 23, or the SSG-24 and the SSX-23. I personally think that a long-range sniper rifle and a quiet sidearm pair very well, especially for the sniper role, and honestly that's probably my favorite rifle-pistol setup. Alright, the final question is from FIFA King 5678, and they asked, what is the best beginner gun in your opinion? So I've heard a lot of different answers to this question, but my opinion personally would either be a G&G gun or a Tippmann gun. The reason for this being, G&G guns perform very well for the price. They have a lot of low-price guns like the ARP-9 or Combat Machine that perform great for the price, but to my knowledge, most of their guns, or I think all of their guns, do not include a charger or battery, which is something you're going to need as a beginner and can be a pain to go out and get. Whereas I've heard of a lot of Tippmann guns having the same price, maybe not performing quite as great, but they do include a charger and a battery. They also will usually include some BBs on jamming rod. They're honestly very good guns for beginners, and at that point the accuracy won't really be much of a difference, same with the trigger response or build. So either a Tippmann or a G&G, depending on your own personal preference. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you click on this right here, it shows my last video where I showed the most searched Google questions airsoft related. Yeah, I think that's what it was. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. You know, it helps me one day achieve my dreams. Hope you guys are well and stay safe.